Hello, everyone. It is Teresa from Choose Spot for Art. I love sharing art from my heart and teaching you how to create a little joy with some fun, simple, and quick art projects, which we are doing. Look how cute these are. Let me get a ruler. So these are, and I don't know how these. So these are 3 inches tall, and almost about 3 inches. So I would imagine this would be called a 3-inch clay pot. I'm not exactly sure. It's about 3 inches tall and almost 3 inches. What's that diameter? Yes. And I have 3 of them. So yesterday I was looking for a bigger pot for a sample I have to paint, and I went. Let me see, chat. And I went into my stash, part of my stash, a little bit of my stash, and I have probably 20 of these. So I'm like, let me look for a simple and quick project I can do on these. And I'm doing them on these 3 inches, but if you wanted to use this technique, design, whatever, on a larger pot, go right ahead. I will say that when I'm done with clay pots, I spray them with a Rust-Oleum or a Krylon matte finish, but you can seal them with whatever you want. I'm using these Deco Art Americana paint, sometimes use the folk art. They actually have a built-in sealer, but I still seal them nonetheless. So let me switch you guys. There we go. Let me adjust. And there we go. Okay, so I feel like I'm playing the shell game. All right, base coat. I think I'm going to paint them different base coats, and then I'm going to mix and match. I have sort of a inspiration photo that I'm using here by me, which I may or may not follow. We shall see. I have it a palette. These are kind of like what I would consider muted earth tones, sort of good for fall, not bright, summery, although the yellows, but these yellows are a little muted as well. So I have a couple of greens, I have a brown and a tan, I have 2 yellows, 2 blues, this burgundy, which makes a beautiful, beautiful rosé or pink, white and black. And I think we will leave it at that. So I need some more paint. Prior to this, I used these colors on a YouTube video that I uploaded for next week. So I upload usually 2 videos each week to my YouTube channel and a short every day. My short will usually be a tips and tricks, or a little time lapse of a bigger project that I have the complete video for. Oh, hate that noise. Look at the beautiful coverage we're getting on these clay pots with just 1 coat of this Deco Art paint. And what I love about it too, the clay pots are so easy to paint because they just soak up the paint. Like if I was just going to do 1 pot, I could totally start putting the design on it right now because it would be dry enough to go back over. But I'm not going to paint the inside. Well, sometimes we do. And if painting the inside, I don't mean even to paint the whole inside. I'll show you guys what I would do. I would just take the brush and paint like the lip. Just so if you put something in here, it looks finished, even though it's not. It's a faux finish. And these are cute for candles, succulents, 1 little annual. You can use them for desk organization, pens, pencils. I could put my brushes in these. So let me make sure I got every nook and cranny. I did. And I'm going to wash this brush. When you hop on, say hi. Let me know where you're watching from. It's been a long time, right? Summer's coming to a wind down. I will probably be on here a lot more often. I'm going to paint one of these with the blue. I did wipe these off, but I guess I didn't do a very good job. I just wiped them off. I didn't even use a damp cloth. I used a dry cloth because these have been in my stash in my garage. And I just used a dry cloth and tried to get off the dust, but apparently I missed some. But that's okay. I like how these colors work together. I have a whole series of paintings the butterfly, the bumblebee, and the dragonfly that use these exact family of colors, this exact palette, because I love them so much. Okay. I'm going to need some more blue. Oops. Sometimes I get full of paint just by opening my paint before I even get to painting. What color do you think we should paint this last one? I might paint it the pale yellow. I just want to do the top, pushing it in a little bit. I'm not going to do as much as I did on the other one. The other one, I just wanted to show you how that would work. I mean, you feel free to paint your entire clay pot, inside, outside, the bottom. I don't paint the bottom. But you can do you. And then, actually, you know what? I could paint one of them white, right? Maybe I'll paint one of them. I'll just pick up a little bit of this yellow and add it to my white. So it'll just be a very, very soft yellow. Because this one's this white with this little bit of yellow, I'm not getting as good a coverage. So see that? We learned something. So this one might need 2 coats. I want all my brush strokes to go the same way. I want to fill in underneath this rim, but all my brush strokes are going to go long ways, vertically. And then let's do our rim. We could paint our rim a contrasting color. I could use the blue and the fawn that I used to begin with and do some contrasting colors on my rims. Make the set go together, or you can just do them monocolor like I'm doing it. I think we're going to add enough detail that we're not going to worry about making our rims separate colors. Okay, so let's put that one aside and we'll go back to the tan one which we started on. So I'm going to rinse off my flat brush and I'm going to get this small round brush. It's got a pretty good, it's a smaller one, like this one would be a larger one. You can tell the difference. Do I have a small one? I don't know if I have a small one. I think these are about the same size. Let's see. Yeah, those are about the same size. But this is small. This will work. And the less pressure, the smaller your brush strokes will be anyway. Okay? So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to twist my brush between my thumb and my forefinger because I want to have a nice point on my round brush. See that? And I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to stroke in one line. Okay? I'm going to do a few of these. Okay? And then I'm going to go back to my brush and I'm just going to push. I'm pushing on a diagonal. I'm flattening out the brush a little bit. And I'm just making these leaves on my stem. Okay? Again, I'm going to start up here. I'm just giving a little bit of a push and a lift. And then I'm doing the sides. These are on a diagonal. And then I get a little bit bigger as I work my way down to the bottom. Pretty much that's all I'm doing. I'm letting the brush do the work. and I'm just pushing it, almost like I'm using it as a stamp. And there I have these 3 started bunches of leaves. And I'm going to wash my brush. Give it a nice dry over here, my ratty towel. I need more white. And I'm going to come in and I'm going to paint about, I guess, like a little bit of a daisy flower. So I'm going to use my brush. I'm going to push and lift up. I'm going to push and lift up. Push and lift up. Push and lift up. Now I want to fill in these empty areas. Right into the spots, okay? So there we have one flower, we have our leaves. I'm going to do another one, but I'm going to do this one down here. So I'm going to push. This one's going to go off the side of our clay pot. And then I'm going to do a smaller one up here. And I'm using the same brush, but in order to do a smaller one, I'm just not pushing as hard. I'm still pushing. I'm still coming into the center, but this time I'm applying a lot less pressure to my brush and making a smaller flower. So that's what we have so far. Okay. I'm going to wash my brush. Give it a nice rinse. And now maybe I'll come in for my green. And I'll start adding in some leaves. The trick to adding in leaves, you want them to be football shape. You want them to be a little bit tapered on the bottoms and the tops. And basically drawing like a frown and a smile, connecting them and filling in the middle. The bigger you want your leaf, the more pressure you use, or the larger brush you would use. Then I'm going to come with this brush and I'm just going to add a few little stems. Now you can make your pot as full or as sparse as you want. You can make all one flower, or you can make a variety of flowers. It's totally up to you. Now with my dirty brush, I'm just going to come in here. I'm going to dip into my other green, pick up the light green. And now on the top of this stem, I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. Okay. Again, almost like a stamp. 1, 2, 3. Okay. I'm going to wash my brush. I can't see comments. I don't know if you guys are commenting or not, or you guys are quiet, just watching. Totally up to you. So I think I'm going to pick up some blue now. And 1, 2, 3. These are kind of like faux tulips. I don't really get caught up on the names. I'm not a botanist. I'm not trying to draw realistic flowers here. I'm just having fun and showing you guys how easy it is to have a little stress relief in your life by creating. Okay? Even some of my green got mixed in there with my blue. I'm okay with that. All right. Let me wash my brush. You'll notice when I wash my brush, I like to dry it off really well. I don't want when I hold my brush upright. Hey, Susan, thank you. When I hold my brush upright, I don't want the water to drip out. So I will be very conscious about washing my brush, but then I'm always grabbing a little rag, paper towel, whatever I have, my apron, my sleeve sometimes, and giving it a little bit of a squeeze and a dry, because we want our brush to not have bedhead, but we also don't want to drip water onto our project. Okay, so you're going to say, I took a little bit of this burgundy and I made this beautiful like pinkish rosé color. It's one of my favorite colors. And let's say I'm going to do these little tiny flowers up here. Hardly any pressure. I'm just pulling in these little tiny strokes. I'm going to add a stem to that. Pulling in these little. If your brush starts to get a little wonky, come over to your palette, whatever you're using for your paint, give it a twirl, and get a nice point back on there. And aside from the base coat, I'm using this smallish round brush to do all of these strokes. The difference is the pressure that I'm using with the brush. And I love how these colors go together. So there we go. Okay. Should I do one more? Maybe I'll do one more pink one down here. I'm gonna wash my brush. Hey, Donna, nice to see you. Okay. Try not to stick my big fingers anyplace else. Okay. I'm going to use this. I'm going to my yellow now. I'm going to dot in the centers of these daisy-like flowers. What a difference, right? Now this one's off the page, so off the container. We only need a hint of a center right there. We're not going to do a whole round center. This one was a little smaller. I'm using the tip of my brush, and I'm just pouncing the center in there. Okay. And I'm going to use the yellow, and I'm going to put little stems on these pink flowers. So I'm like cupping the bottom of the flower and adding a stem. So I'm doing like a little bit of a comma stroke or an apostrophe stroke, and then adding a stem. And again, you can make these green. I'm not all that particular. I'm just trying to show you guys how easy it is if you wanted to like grab some extra paint and do a little creating. You can do this on a teacup. You can do this on paper if you wanted to. Just simple little design. Okay. Hey, Julie, thanks for hopping on. All right, I'm going to grab my liner brush. Okay. I'm going to pick up a little bit of white. Again, I'm twirling my liner brush between my thumb and my pointer. And I want to come in here and I want to start adding in a little bit of highlight. Not too much, but a little bit. Just simple little white highlight. Hope I missed one of these pink ones with my yellow. I'm going to add a little bit of highlight to my leaf. A little bit up here to my pink flowers. Maybe a little bit to the browns I started out with to begin with. Look how everything is just popping now. A little bit of white, tiny little frowns on the tips of these brown leaves. And it's just popping. I have to go back and grab my yellow because I missed a couple of stems. Maybe I'm going to add a little bit of white to these yellow leaves that I added. Tiny bit. I'm hardly touching my brush to my art. Okay. All right. Let me get some of this yellow. I didn't even wash my brush. I went right from the white to the yellow because I needed to make a stem there. And I thought I forgot an, oh, here we go. This one I forgot too. And then I'll just put a little. And then wash my brush. And then I just had an idea. What did I do with my idea? I don't remember. Okay. I'm going to take the back of my brush. I'm going to put it in the burgundy. And I'm just going to put some dots in the empty spaces along the rim. Oh, I just remember what I was going to do. I was going to add leaves to these to these green stems. Look at that. I'm just using the back of my brush. I'm adding little dots. And it just fills it in and gives it such a cute look. I can add in different colored dots. I can add dots in around my whole entire thing. Let's do this. So look how cute. Look how cute that is. And I can take and I can put a plant in it. I can put some pens in it. I can put some paintbrushes in it. Look how cute that looks. When it's completely dry, usually about 24 hours, I will hit it with some clear coat with either like a Rust-Oleum or a Krylon. If you want to stay, I'm going to paint another one. Okay, so let me turn you guys around again. Go back to my round brush. This one I base coated in this light blue. And again, these are abstract. You can use whatever colors you want, whatever palette you want. You can Google online fall color palette. And then you don't even have to use all the colors. Just pick like a few colors of that palette and do your own. I'm going to use most of the same elements and colors, but in a different way on this one. Again, I'm just pushing with my brush. Using my little pinky up there. Pushing with my round brush. Making sure I go on a diagonal or on an angle, almost like making a V. And I use more pressure as I work my way down so my petals are larger. I can even do 2 like that, and then just do 1, 2 leaves. One, 2. Okay. And you really like your imagination. You can do as much as you want, as little as you want. The only thing stopping you is your imagination. I'm going to do these little tulips. And that's 1 little stroke, 1 little stroke, and then 1 in the middle. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And the more pressure, the bigger the flower. See how small that one was? Then you come over here. That one's a lot bigger because I used a lot more pressure. Where's my brush? Now, if I had a plan, and I'm pretty much sticking to the colors, but if I had more of a plan, I could be a lot more, what do you call it, efficient, but that's okay. So now I'm just going to do little, look how little tiny these strokes are. I'm just going to do little 5 ones. I'm only using the very, very tip of the brush. Just the tip of the brush. Just 5 simple petals. Almost like a starfish in this green color. Could be like a little bit of a gingerbread man too, with the head and the arms. Tiny, 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 tiny little strokes. Then should I go for the pink? I think I will. I'm going to go for some pink here. Again, I just took a little bit of the white, mixed it up with this burgundy. I like this pinky rosy color that we get here. And I'm going to do 1, 2. So now I'm using the leaf stroke. That these are just, they look like leaves. They're football shape. They're tapered at each end and then wider in the middle. But now, because they're pink, it's a flower. Cool, huh? Do one up here. And sometimes they can overlap. It's okay if your elements overlap. It's another pink one. And then we can even, let's see, 1, 2, 3. We could do another half one down here, just like we did the other one with the daisy coming off. There we go. And then these are really simple. I'm going to take, let me get the bright yellow. I'm going to take the bright yellow with the back, and I'm going to make circles. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That one had 7. 7 and 5 is good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Put another one down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I'm going to wipe off my brush. I'm going to go into my white, and I'm just going to put a white center in all of them. And while I'm at it, I'm going to put a white center in my greens. Okay. Then I'm going to go back in my yellow, and I'm going to put a white center in my pinks. Again, we're just using all of these same colors. And we're mix and matching between leaves. Love you explaining. You always make me feel like you can. Julie, I appreciate you saying that, and thank you so much. You can do it. I swear you can. And I love being able to teach you guys how to do stuff like this. You had to go. I mean, we're coming into fall now, but you could do this. I mean, these are beautiful fall colors. You were going to somebody's house. You wanted to meet somebody for coffee. You wanted to cheer yourself up one day. You can get a clay pot, paint it with some of these colors, all of these colors, a few of these colors, 1 or 2 of these colors. Get yourself a beautiful mom, stick it in your pot, and there you have something really pretty to look at. That took you maybe, not even an hour. I missed one there. Okay. Oh, so now I'm going to go back into the dark green, and I have these little tulip-like ones that I made. And I'm going to do the same thing here. I want to give them stems. So I'm just cupping the bottom, and then I'm adding a little stem. So it's like a little comma, apostrophe, and then a stem. And here, this one's upside down. There's no rhyme or reason. It doesn't matter. It's just a little bit of an easy pattern. Oh, got something on my brush. There we go. So a little comma, a little smiley, little frown face, whichever, and then a little stem right there. Okay. And then again, before we hop off, I'm just going to wash my brush. I'm going to dry it really well. And I'm going to get some, if I don't have fresh white, I think I can manage with the white I have. A little bit of white. And I'm going to now come in here, just like we did before, and put these little bit of apostrophe or comma strokes. And give our leaves here a little bit of more highlight. I didn't do this on the other one, but you could even lighten up the stem like I just did. I can take these and put these on here too. Give a little bit of highlight on the pink flower. Hey, Heather. Pretty mandala dotting sounds cool to get into. Yes, I think you're right. I have a friend who teaches mandala dotting. She's really good at it too. Her name is Tara Pugh. She has a group. And there we have it. So now I'm going to take my brush and I'm just going to add some dots and fill in all these spaces. I'm not going to overdo it. Your dots automatically become different sizes because as you run out of paint, they get smaller. So if you wanted all your dots to be the same size, you would dip, dot, dip, dot, dip, dot. But if you want yours to be all different and random, do 2 or 3 or 4 dots each time you dip your brush. And then look how cute. And up here, I got a little bit, stick my big fingers. So I'm just going to take some of this blue and cover that up. When that dries, you're not even going to see it. Anyplace else? Yep, right here. I'm just going to touch this up with some blue over the yellow because it's dry. When you let your paint dry, you can fix anything. And then when this dries, you won't even see that I had to touch it up because I stuck my big fingers in it. Let me turn you guys around. And there we have, oh, let me see, how am I going to pick this one up? 1 second. So we have these two. There we go. Look how cute. Because we used the same colors, they go together. You can do them on big ones. Like I said, you can do these on coffee mugs, glasses. If you're going to do it on glassware or ceramic mugs, I would use acrylic enamel paint. I know that sounds weird, acrylic enamel paint. So when I say enamels, I don't mean the enamels that people use for, I guess we're all people of a certain age. So we remember kits, modeling kits. They had enamel paint. That was oil paint. That was really strong. It went on smooth. When I say enamels, I mean acrylic enamel paints that are made for glass. They're still water-based, and they're for glass painting. And there we go. So I am going to do the third one, and then I'll post a picture of all of these finished for you guys, okay? Thanks for joining me. I will see you next time. Don't forget to hit the subscribe.